This is my little garden I got back here. I built this little garden box a couple years ago. Now I want to find a way to put a water irrigation system in without having to water so much, like if I'm out of town or it's been kind of hot and dry. So I got some tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, regular tomatoes, cilantro, cucumbers, and rosemary. And I just want to put a little irrigation system in here, kind of slow drip, so I don't have to water this often. So I have 3 items here that I'm going to use to make my irrigation system. I have a 2.5 gallon water jug. I got it from a local water store. I got an irrigation system that I ordered from Amazon. It has all the tools and all the drips and spouts used to make the irrigation system, and I purchased a separate 1/2-inch spigot, water spigot. This will be placed internally inside of the jug, and the release valve will allow the water to come out. This is a standard size that'll hook up to any hose end. So here I've marked the cut line with a Sharpie. This is the area where I'm going to cut a hole in the container, and I left the area where the handle is so I can still be able to pick the jug up when necessary. And I'll use that hole to put my spigot in below here. And also I wanted to create a design where I could catch extra rainwater when necessary, other than always having to fill up with tap water. I'm hoping to be able to put a netting over it to prevent the mosquitoes from wanting to nest in there as well once I cut a hole in it. What I'm going to do next is go ahead and put a Sharpie mark around my spigot here where I'm going to drill the hole. I'll be using a 3/4 inch hole driller to put this hole in the jug. Just a standard drill. Should have its position right in the center. I'm going to go ahead and drill and get back with you. The 3/4 inch has a little bit of tightness to it. I'm going to use the Dremel tool. See, that's to clean it out a little bit. I didn't want it to be loose at all. I want it to be completely snug in there. So I'm going to clean this out with the Dremel. And I'll just use a Dremel tool here. And I'll go on the inside and clean around there and thin it down just a little so that we'll be able to get that spigot inside. Okay, a little quick clean up on that hole. And the spigot goes right in. So that's an easy step there. I'm going to now cut the hole on the top. Next, I'm going to cut along the edge of the line. This is a Dremel saw blade. I'm just going to go all the way around and carve it out till I get it cut out. Into the next step. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to just kind of finish going along these lines here, all the way around, until I get the cut completed. Okay, I just finished Dremel cutting the edges all the way around. As you can see, the lid came completely off. What I'm going to do now is go back with the Dremel filer, and I'm going to file these edges so they're not sharp, and just kind of sand it down with the Dremel tool. Okay, I have finished filing the top of the container. I just used the Dremel tool here. I just went around the edges and filed it. I rinsed the jug out thoroughly, got all the shavings out of there. Now as we get ready to put this spigot in here, this spigot has a hard gasket and a soft gasket that I'm going to apply on the backside, and just going to go straight in there. And you're going to apply the rubber gasket on the backside to tighten down the washer to keep water from leaking out. As you can see on the inside there, you can see that rubber gasket. I'm going to just go ahead and screw that in and get it tight. Okay, the gasket is now tightened and sealed. I'm going to do the test now. I'm going to fill this up with water, and we're going to see if the water holds in place and be able to use the turn valve to release the water that will be going to the irrigation system. As you can see, the container is filled over water. That's probably about 2 gallons, a little over. There's no leaks. Everything is dry around there. Looks like it's holding up quite well. I'm going to do a test on the knob here and see how much pressure we got coming out. Looks like it's coming out pretty good. I used a 2-gallon container because I wanted a little more pressure naturally to go through the tubes. I'm going to test that out shortly. You could use a bucket or whatever it is if you want to try this, whatever it may, a bucket, a barrel, or whatever suits your taste. I want to do something simple. This particular irrigation system that I got came standard with a valve end, and you just hook it up to that end, and it has a little coupling. This coupling right here will run to the tubing that goes to the plants or whatever it is you intend to water. Next, I wanted to test out the water pressure. I want to try to elevate this near my garden to have a little more water pressure coming out. So I'm testing the hose now. It seems to be doing well. Water is coming out. So it has plenty of drip. You can control the drip valve by turning it. You can make it slow drip, heavy drip. You can make it have about a couple of drops an hour, however you want to do it. You can set the drip rate yourself manually. Okay, what I'm in the process of doing now is I've got some screen door netting purchased at the Home Depot. I had a big roll-up from a long time ago. I'm just using it for mosquito netting to keep out bugs and anything that will fall in the water. I don't guess it'll be a big deal for most of the stuff that can fall in the water, but I don't want the valve getting clogged up with debris and leaves or something that may fall in there. So that way it can still catch rainwater. I'm still able to take the hose and hook it up and just spray it in there. But mostly mosquitoes love to house themselves in sitting water, so this is what this is designed to do. I'm lacing it with duct tape, old-fashioned duct tape. I'll just seal it all the way around the edges. And duct tape is pretty weather tolerant. It'll probably last me a year or so before I have to retape it, maybe 2. But it usually does pretty good. Anyway, on to the next step. I've now completely sealed the edges all the way around with the duct tape. Okay, I found a spot for my water container. I'm gonna make a little makeshift shelf out of some scrap wood I found in the garage. I'm just gonna make a little shelf to set it up there on, and the container is sitting up pretty high before it dropping down in this area here. I think it'll get some good pressure to be able to disperse itself through all the valves. This is the part of the scrap wood I found in the garage. I've pre-cut to make the shelf to be able to hold the water container right there on the edge of my trash gate. This is my little scrap wood shelf I just made. I had it pre-cut. I had measured and pre-cut. I didn't show it on video. I went ahead and put it together, and I'm going to mount it here. And it should be able to hold that 2-gallon jug pretty easy. As we can see, the shelf is working quite well. It fits up there perfectly. Very sturdy. I think the elevation is going to help the water pressure once I get it going. I'm going to make a, I don't like this jug, it's an eyesore for me. So I'm going to build a little cover around it, a little wooden cover just to give it a little style. Okay, just about done with this little housing, little makeshift housing just to cover up the thing, a little bit of an eyesore. I'm going to, I found some old hinges in the garage. Went to some little gadget. I'm gonna, guess I'll extend the little piece out to about here. And I'll put the little hinges on the inside about the middle ways so it kind of swing open. So I can get a little access to the valve if I need to. Well, I got my eyesore cover in now. It's way better. Little access door. Just close it back in place. I probably put a little stain on this just to make it match with everything else. All right, I just finished staining my irrigation water cover. As the old saying goes, a little caulk, a little paint, I'll make it look like what it ain't. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and we'll set the tank back up there, and then we'll run the hoses to the plants here. As you can see now, the water jug is concealed pretty good. It doesn't look like an eyesore, and I try to put a little bit of decorative spin on the wood and the curvature to make it look a little natural, organic. What I'm getting ready to do now is start running my tubing. I've already tested the water valve, it's coming out well. I'm just gonna run, and it has all these little tubes have connectors, and you just connect them to the joints, and you run the tubing to, you can run one to each plant, where you can release the valve where each plant is, or you can do it however you want. I want to run about 3 rows across to the other side and on to the next step. Okay, what I've done now is I've hooked up about 4 lines. I just want to see how far the lines go. They go all the way across my flower bed. I want to try to bleed it to see water passes all the way through. Make sure I get the air bubbles out. Just check the water's passing through all my tubes. Whichever one I put pressure on, they rotate over. Once all the valves are in place, the water will go through all the tubes and apply pressure all simultaneously. All right, my tank is full. I got all my valves open. Every valve has a slow drip. Really slow drip for each valve, that's what you want. Just a slow drip. Therefore, to ensure your plants stay watered at all times. I have a valve running to each plant. Instead of just watering the bed, I have a valve running to each plant. Therefore, each plant gets its own water source. I figured it'd be a lot easier doing it that way. All the valves are open. I got them slightly turned. Got them set at a really slow drip. And that's what you want. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this project. I was trying to find another way to water my flowers a little easier, or at least when I'm out of town. And this seems to do the trick, or it's gonna do the trick. I'm expecting great results from this. Pretty simple. It's just about the tubing and where you want to run your irrigation hoses to. I am getting enough pressure. That was a concern. That's why I put the bottle up high. But it's enough pressure and it's coming out well. Thanks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm looking for a good harvest this season.